Hey YouTube, it's the Homemade Game Guru here again. Last time I posted a video showing some of my trading card collection that I've had throughout the years. And I said I was going to do another video on showing you how to make your own trading cards or even novelty cards at a professional grade level. Now you may ask, well, why would I want to make my own trading cards? Well, everyone out there knows what trading cards are. It's a great way to show pictures and information and really honor someone. So if you're a parent and you have a young child who's in sports, you can make them their own, professional trading card with their stats and pictures on it. And for all the game inventors out there, because I have been actually contacted by different game inventors, as I have my own game company as well, that they want to know how to make prototypes without breaking the bank. I know from experience that to make a professional board game or playing cards, no, sorry, not playing cards, sorry, novelty card games, just to make one prototype, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars because, let's face it, you go to a printer's not going to just produce you one set of a game for next to nothing. It's going to cost you $1,000, $2,000. And many times it's the cards themselves that are the most expensive part of any prototype. So my technique, though sometimes tedious, will show you how for like $10 to $15, $15 max, you're going to be able to make your own trading cards or cards for a board game or novelty card game on your terms for not that much money, and you could do it from the comfort of your own home. But once you have an actual design, you want to lay it out and lay it out in a way that's symmetrical and that the front and back of the card can be laid out exactly the same, so when we put it together, when we print it, it looks good. So here I'm using Adobe Photoshop. I swear by this program, but you could use whatever program you're most comfortable with. But I'm going to show this in Adobe. And here you can see my characters of my game, and they're already pre-laid out. Now let me just get rid of these cards here. And what you'll see is that I made a grid using the blue lines that are available in Adobe. I set up each card, standard trading cards, 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So I set it up where I have 6 spaces. Each one of these spaces could fit a 2.5 by 3.5 trading card. And even if I get rid of the guides, you'll see that these black lines here are the cut lines. Now these are very important. They're actually set up from the guides because of course when you print it out the guidelines will not be there. So you want these cut lines to be here. And just using the line tool, the cut lines fit around each and every card. And it's imperative that these cut lines are there because it's these cut lines that we'll be using when using a paper cutter or scissors to cut each and every one of these cards out. So make sure that those guidelines are there. Let me just bring back my grid. And also, as you can see, it's very symmetrical. This is the middle of the page, this line here, and then 2.5 in either direction, either way. And this kind of layout is also going to be used for the back. This is the back of my cards over here. The exact same grid as this is used for the back of the cards. So on this one, let me just bring back the fronts of my cards. So there you go. There's my character cards, the 6 character cards. And then the exact same grid, exact same layout is the back of the cards. And I do it this way because when we're going to be stapling it and gluing it, and once we put it together, it's going to be perfectly aligned. And you want to do this on a laser printer. Do not do this on an inkjet printer. 1, ink is expensive, and 2, it could bleed. Laser toner is the best stuff to use for trading cards or card games. So, and I send it to a copy place. I know there's Staples, there's Office Depot, there's Kinko's, the UPS store, whichever one. You just need a high-grade copier to do it. So send it off to them, and then once you have your finished copies on glossy cardstock, not regular paper, glossy 80-pound cardstock. Once you have your copies and the amount of increments you need, we could go forward from there. Alright, so I just got back from the copy store, and I got my copies. This is just one whole complete set right here. Fronts and back, so you can see I got the photo paper, high gloss photo paper. It's about 80 pound. I'm not sure how they work out the pound measurements, but that's what they say this is. But it's high gloss. You could actually feel the raised print on it. It's a laser printer, laser copy I should say, top of the line. And what we're going to do is we're going to sort it out. You put your fronts and backs together, and I'm going to show you how to staple it together so they're aligned, glue it, and then cutting it. And then after all, you'll have your finished card, your novelty card, your trading card. It'll be ready to go. Now I'm standing in front of my screen door right now, my patio door. As you can see outside, it's a beautiful Canadian winter out there. Now the reason why I'm standing here with my copies of my cards is that we need to staple them together. There's going to be a gluing stage after this, but right now each sheet is just too thin to be a trading card on its own. Even though it's nice, high, glossy paper, it's certain thickness, we put both of these together and glue it together, and then you're going to have a stronger card, actually at the level of professional trading cards. So what I do is, it's a nice sunny bright day out there. So because it's paper, when you put it towards the surface, you probably won't see it through my camera here, but I could perfectly see right through this. So what I do is I overlap them, and using the sun's light, be able to align up my cut lines. Remember, I said that it's imperative to have cut lines, and that's because you want to use the same cut lines on the front and the back to align with each other. So what I do is just taking my time, looking at where the cut lines are on the front and the back, using the sun's light. I line them up. And like I said, you can't see it right now, but right now these two are perfectly aligned. I can see that the front and back, the cards, edge of the cards, are exactly aligned with each other. And once I have that, just hold on to it, and then what I'm going to do is just simply staple the edge. So now it's front and back completely aligned up with each other, and I'm going to do this for each and every set of cards, front and back, in my set. And then from there we glue them. And you might say, well, I don't have a nice sunny day outside, but I still want to align this. That's perfectly okay. If you have a strong enough lamp or light, you could do the same thing. You could hold it over, and then using your fingers align up the paper and then staple it from there. So you don't have to use a patio door if you don't have it. You could just use a simple lamp and it'll do the exact same thing. And just take your time, align it up, hold it together, and then staple the edge. I like doing 3 staples to ensure that it stays together. So now that we've finished the stage where we stapled the sheets together and aligned them up, each front and back is aligned nicely the way we want it, we got to glue this stuff together and put it together as one into one sheet. Now this is I guess the tricky, careful part of this whole procedure, that we're going to be using spray glue. I do not recommend like a pasty glue that you could spread on, because it could cause bubbling and will make the paper uneven. The best type of glue to use is spray glue. Now I don't like to do product endorsements, I don't like to really promote products that don't pay me, but I am a fan of 3M Super 77 glue. You can see this stuff is the best spray glue on the market. This stuff, it's a pure aerosol, it'll coat evenly. So this costs about between 12 to 15 bucks wherever you're going, but this can will last you a long time. And what we're going to do in a well ventilated area, either do it outside or if you have a workshop and you have a respirator, but what you're going to do is spray just one side of the stapled together sheet. You don't have to do both sides because it's paper. So you just spray one side, just a good even coat. One coat is all you need, and then put it together. And then once it's flattened, I'm going to show you how to pile it on top of each other and put pressure to make sure it sticks down. So what you're looking at right now is 2 piles of my cards. Each pile here is one game or one complete set. So I glued them together. It's nice and flat. Now what you want to do at this stage is that, yes, it's glued together, and because it's paper it's going to fasten to each other very easily. But I still believe in pressing things down, putting some weight on each set to ensure that it does not, come loose, because you want it to completely bond. And usually I let it set for about, let's just say, maybe an hour or 2. But as I do, I pile each sheet on top of each other, but I put paper dividers, just plain paper, white. This one's like a cyan color, but just different paper in between each sheet, and then you just overlap them on top of each other. And because of the staples, what I do is I change the direction of the sheets as I overlap them. Then what I do on top of that is, now that I have the sheets down, I take a big wooden board or anything you could possibly find and I put it on top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put weights or books, anything that I have that has a strong amount of weight, just put on top to compress it all down. I'm going to leave it for an hour or two, and then after that it's the cutting stage. Alright, so our pages have now been pretty much pressed and glued, and now they're flat as a pancake. I have my whole pile here, and as you can see they're completely flat and glued together. I let them actually set for about 2.5 hours. And now it's the most tedious part of this whole process, and that's actually cutting these cards out. But once they're cut, and if you take your time, you're going to have an absolutely beautiful card when you're done. I'm going to show you the quick technique for how I use the paper cutter. Now, as you can see, the cut lines don't go all the way to the edge. So what I'm going to do is just quickly chop off the edges. So the cut lines now go to the very edge of the paper. I'll also do the bottom and the top. As you can see, this is why I like using a paper cutter. Very fast cuts. So again, I could do it horizontally or vertically. So what I'm going to do is, I hope you can see this well, I'm lining up the cut lines, top and bottom, right at the edge of the paper cutter, and bam! As you can see, smooth all the way down. Same thing on the other side. Line up the top and bottom of the lines. There's no rush, take your time. And once again, bam. So you can see it's completely smoothed down and everything is lined. And what I'm going to do is then chop off these horizontally and vertically again, each card individually. And at the end, we'll have our finished game cards. That's about it. Alright, so I finished cutting out all my cards, and here you go. Here's just some finished samples of the cards. And as you can see, the front and back are perfectly aligned. There's no white spaces whatsoever. And it's a good thickness, comparable to other trading cards out there. I know I mentioned that the spray glue is about $15 at most, but that can last you a long time. The paper cutter I've had for quite a few years as well, so that cost me about $30 alone, but these are things that you will be using for other crafts and other concepts. But the cards themselves, there's 60 cards in my set, and with 6 cards per page, it was about 10 front and back, so 20 pages, and they were 50 cents each. So you're looking at $10 to pretty much print out the cards, and that's a lot less expensive than going to an actual major printer and printing it through them, and versus just laying it out on your own, sending it to a Kinko's, a Staples, an Office Place, or printing it on your own laser printer or photocopier, and coming out with just an exact comparable product that it could be shown. I've actually made prototypes using this technique, and those products, which I'll be showing in future videos, have now been accepted for distribution and will be sold through retail stores during the summer. So this technique works. So if you want to make trading cards for yourself or for your kids, you could do it that way. If you want to make cards for a prototype or a game that you're making, also this way. So I want to share this with you. This has been my own little trade secret for the longest time, because people have always asked me how I'm able to make such good trading cards without going to mass print, and this is how, using this technique. So I hope this has been helpful for everyone out there, and if you have any questions or comments, I'm always game to hear them. Just leave it on my video. I said, if you have a suggestion of something you want me to try to make and show you how to do it in a more cost-effective manner, please, I'm game for that as well. But hopefully this will help you, and that you'll be able to have fun with this. If you have the kids and you have a paper cutter, please make sure to watch over them, because a paper cutter can take off a finger very easily. So I'm the Homemade Game Guru. Thank you very much for watching and enjoying my video, and subscribe. I'm going to have more stuff coming in time. Alright, take care everybody. Take care. Bye.